So we have started building new chain plates for the boat. We're building them out of carbon fiber. They're extremely strong pieces. One of them could lift the entire boat up. And so if you go back and watch the last 2 episodes, if you haven't seen them, we talk about the design, why we're changing them. And so this week what we're doing is we're showing the actual build of the chain plates themselves. It's been a super fun project. My name is Matt. Follow along as I turn Duracell, the legendary ocean racing sailboat, into a comfortable cruising home. Okay, so I got these chain plates all prepped for the next lamination session we're gonna do tonight. I sanded them down really good. We're gonna be putting about 20 more layers of carbon on them, and this isn't the last session for these chain plates. There'll be one more after this one. And this is just a layer of a coating of thickened epoxy just to kind of fill in any low spots. These laminates are unidirectional, which means that the carbon fibers only go one direction, and in this case they go the length of the chain plate. And then every 6th layer of unidirectional, we do a layer of carbon double bias, which means that the fibers are 45 degrees, in this case to the chain plate. In Evan's words, this helps with the interlaminar shear of the layers and any loads that are off axis. The most difficult part of laminating with carbon fiber is, since it's black, it's hard to tell that the fabric has been totally absorbed with resin. So we are very liberal with the epoxy, and we keep the epoxy warm so that it's thin. We give the fabric lots of time to absorb the resin, and before we lay it up on the part, we press out as much of the excess epoxy as we can. So don't press on this super hard, because this stuff will stretch. This is the biax, so this stuff will deform.
Okay.
Just kind of lightly go over it. What? Now you can really press it out. Press out the epoxy. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. That's 1/3 of what we're going to do tonight. So we're going to do what we just did 2 more times. Okay. We put some on basically. Mom, would you mind grabbing those green, the release paper?
How's it look?
Looks pretty good. It's very beefy, or very heavy duty. And we're not done with it yet. We still got 10 more layers to put on it. Right now it is 8 pounds and 4 ounces. So it should come in at less than 10 pounds.
So about the weight of the inspector.
I think the inspector's a little heavier than 8 pounds.
It's a thing of beauty.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think so too. I gotta sand it and clean it, and then we'll put more layers on, and then it'll be done.
Guess eventually I'll cease to be surprised about how everything needs to be sanded. But it still surprises me that you have to sand this.
So I learned this from a channel that Evan actually showed me. It's called The Young Barnacles. The guy is a super pro sailboat racer and carbon and composite guru. But he was explaining that even if you do peel ply something, it's important that you still sand it, because peel ply can leave contaminants on the surface, like silicone and stuff like that. So, it's especially important for things like these really important parts that have really, really good adhesion. So anyway, it just needs a scuff and some cleaning up, and then we can do the next layers. We did the third lamination on this chain plate later that day. This is after all the layers are on, and I've chopped off the excess stainless tube and cleaned it all up. So this is the final weight of the first chain plate that we finished. It's all cleaned up and everything. So this one weighs just under 10 pounds. I also weighed the old vertical chain plate, so the H frame chain plate with the backing plates and the bar that goes through the deck. That weighed 90 pounds. That doesn't include, the 82 pounds doesn't include the bolts or the cover plates or anything like that, so it's even heavier than 82 pounds. We're going from 90 pounds to 10 pounds for one chain plate. But yeah, this one's all done, it's all trimmed up and everything. It turned out awesome. Next week we're going to glue them into the boat after we get the rest of these finished. Cranston's here helping me. We're going to do the diagonal chain plates today. These are a little bit more interesting because they have to be at a very specific angle. These are going from the chain plate position to just underneath the first spreader, so they're at 7 degrees exactly. And so we're doing just the first layup to get the shape of the chain plate before we finish them in the shop. I put this plastic on after because, or between layers, if we have too much epoxy inside the weave, then the laminates slide all over the place when we put them on. I need them to lay really nicely onto each other. And so, especially when I'm doing this big of a stack at one time, it's a lot harder if they're all soaked with epoxy and everything. So when I put this plastic on, and then we can take it and squeegee out all this excess epoxy. You see, I'm squeezing out a whole bunch here. I don't know if I explained that very well, but it really helps keep the shape of the part.
Here's a question. Boat talk with Matt and Cranston. Least favorite part of sailing?
Go Cranston.
Okay. Seasickness. Can't stand it.
Yeah.
Go Matt.
That's an easy one. Let's see. Alright, I'm gonna say it. I don't like big egos on the boat.
No dickheads.
Exactly.
So, Yannicka, yours?
Yeah, Yanni.
Oh, I hadn't thought of it. When the wind dies and you're crossing an ocean.
It's not a bad one either. Can be very peaceful though.
What happened to the being cold?
Oh yeah. And being cold. But as
And
they
going
say,
And then, yeah.
going in the wrong
Right.
direction.
She's got it.
as they say in Norway, det finns ikke dårlig vær, bare dårlig klær.
Okay, go ahead and spray it again. This is I think it's called a call plate. It is like a spacer. This chain plate's going to get bigger once it cures. We're going to pull it off the boat, and then we're going to laminate a whole bunch more layers, like 15 or 20 more layers of carbon onto it. And so this piece will take up that space. It makes it so that the shape will be correct when we put the finished chain plate back in the boat. It also keeps the chain plate nice and flat.
Any leaks?
Yeah, but we're getting them.
There's always leaks, right? That's
There's
expected.
always. Cranston, I got both sides done. These are the diagonal chain plates, so these go up to, from the boat up to the just below the first spreader, and these are just the first layers of the diagonal chain plates. So after these are cured, we'll peel them off tomorrow and laminate a whole bunch more layers to them, just like we did with the vertical chain plates. That'll all get done in the next couple of days, and then it'll be time to glue all the chain plates to the boat and start finishing up the project. So we're well on our way.